Hi everybody, my name is Greg Anderson and today I want to talk about this talking countdown timer. I've made videos in the past where I've talked about clocks and watches and timekeeping in general, so I've decided maybe I should call this The Good Timekeeping Show with Greg Anderson. So welcome to the first episode officially of The Good Timekeeping Show. I'm going to talk about this countdown timer. In fact, I'm also going to talk about this one that looks like it's the same thing, I guess, just in a different color and with a different brand name on it. So let's go through this. Okay, so first of all, here's this black one, and of course the brand name on it is Oregon Scientific. This other one appears to be the same thing, different brand name, R-E-I-Z-E-N. I don't know if that's pronounced Reizen, I'm not sure. I'll tell you right off, both of these you can get them for somewhere between maybe $10 and $15 if you look around, look for a deal. Maybe there'll be some tax or shipping and handling charges on that. If you don't look around quite as carefully for a bargain, you might find them for more than that. But I didn't pay more than $10 or $15 for each of these. The Oregon Scientific one, I saw the description on Amazon, said that it had a radio-controlled movement. So I thought, well, that means atomic clock. And so I was a little dubious because the official Oregon Scientific website had an owner's manual that did not say anything about atomic timekeeping or radio control. So the description was wrong that I saw on Amazon. This one, the description didn't say anything about radio control or atomic timekeeping, so be it known that it does not have atomic timekeeping, but that's okay. So let's just focus on this one for a moment. It has a clock, so you have the clock function. It's a quartz clock. It's accurate enough, but it's not atomic. And then if you flip the switch all the way to the other side, you can set the clock using the hour, minute, and second buttons to set the time, and it'll count off the
5 p.m.
the time as you adjust the time.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4 p.m. Okay,
so now I'm back to normal time. As far as the clock goes, well, it's fine, but I have other clocks. What I really like about this is the countdown function. So let's just flip over to that real quick. And let's use this one as I continue to talk about the countdown mode. Now, they're really the same thing with just a different brand name on them. So all the functions are the same. When you put it in countdown mode, you'll want to select how many hours, minutes, and seconds you want it to count down. So you could start, say
1 hour,
1 hour, 1 minute,
1 second,
1 second. Clear that off.
1 second.
Just do 1 second if you want to. Anyway, it's very easy to set.
1, 2, 3 minutes.
And then you just press start, and it'll count down. Now, when it gets to the end of the countdown, it's going to make some sort of sound. So you can select what sound you want it to make, and there's a button right on the back here for sound. So if I press that, you can select that sound effect, or that sound effect, or that, that sound effect, or that's supposed to, it sounds like running water. It's supposed to sound like a tea kettle or something. So that's the countdown sound it's going to make when it gets all the way down to 0. So you select which one of those you want. Now it's a talking countdown timer, so it does read off some things as you're going. In this case, it's going to say something right now.
2 minutes left.
Okay, so it counts down how many hours, how many minutes, how many seconds are left, but it doesn't just continually count that down. What it does is, if you want to, you can set it to count down anywhere from 23 hours, 59 minutes, and 59 seconds. Let me just show you that quickly.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 30, 30, 30, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 59 seconds.
Okay, that's the maximum amount you can count down. It's not quite perfectly 24 hours, but it's anywhere from 1 second up to 23 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds. And then you just press start. Now, for the first few hours of this, it's going to give you some sort of indicator on the hour, how many hours are left. You'll hear the voice tell you that. In fact, I'll just demonstrate on this other one. So here's what it does. From 23 hours all the way to 1 hour, it's going to tell you how many hours are left. It's going to count that down as it goes. Just one voice announcement on the hour sounding like this.
1 hour left.
Okay, when you get below 1 hour, it's going to have a voice announcement every 10 minutes at 50, 40, 30, 20, and 10 minutes. And it will sound something like this.
20 minutes left.
Okay, so it'll do that until it gets down to 10 minutes. After it reaches 10 minutes, it's going to give you a voice announcement every minute, from 10 all the way down to 1 minute. When it gets down to 1 minute, it's going to give you a voice announcement at 50 seconds, 40, 30, 20, and 10 seconds. When it gets down to 10 seconds left, it's going to give you an announcement something like this.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And now, of course, it's playing back the sound effect that you selected. And it continues to play that sound effect over and over for 1 minute. And then it keeps counting up, and when it reaches the 2-minute mark, it's going to give you another announcement, and it will sound something like this.
2 minutes over.
All right, so not only is this little icon flashing, and that's the sound effect that you selected, also it has a little thing here that says time's up, and that's flashing, and then it's counting up, and it's going to continue to make those announcements very similar to the way it was making announcements on the countdown. It's going to make those announcements on the count up. It's going to say, it's going to announce every minute from 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 10 minutes. Then it'll go every 10 minutes from 20, 30, 40, 50, and then at 1 hour it's going to make an announcement saying 1 hour over. And then it'll continue to do that every hour, 2 hours over, 3 hours over. There will be a voice announcement until it goes all the way up to 24 hours if you just keep it running. And when it reaches 24 hours, it's just going to stop. So, countdown timer with a count up timer, again like this.
3 minutes over.
Announcing that, hey, your timer already expired and you're over now. What do you want to do? Okay, so very simple. It's cute, you know. I like the voice announcement. I like those little reminders as you're getting down. If you use a regular kitchen timer, effectively, let's say you're timing something for 25 minutes, and then you walk away, and you're not going to hear anything until 25 minutes. You'll hear one ding or beep or whatever the timer does. Whereas this one, I like having those periodic announcements as you're getting closer and closer to your stop time. My wife really likes that because she has like a cookie recipe where even just a few seconds more or less than what she wants to do baking the cookie makes a big difference. So it's nice to have those little reminders before you get all the way down to 0.
4 minutes over.
Now, one thing I tried to do, well, what if it's overtime? What if I stop it and try to add some time
5 minutes, 6, 7, 8 minutes.
And then start it again? It doesn't do that. It just goes back to 0. Also, let's say you're counting down from an hour and you're going, okay, 59, whatever, and you say, well, wait a minute, let's stop, let's add another hour.
1 hour.
And keep going. So, yeah, you can do that. But not every combination of starting and changing the time and starting over again will work, especially if you've already gone overtime. It's basically stop and clear. But counting down, you do have some flexibility in changing the amount of time
30, 34, 41 seconds.
midstream and then starting again from there. So a couple little things to keep in mind. On the back, you have this little thing that opens up, and that turns it into its own built-in stand, so that's nice. Under this little cover here, however, there are 3 buttons. One says reset, and it's kind of recessed so that it's not as easy to push that one. Just a total reset on the whole thing. Then this other button here that's marked sound, that's where you select which sound effect you want it to play. When it runs out of time, and then voice, you can actually turn the voice off if you want to and not have a voice announcement. You can stop the voice announcements entirely if you just want it to play a sound effect at the end and not have the voice. And that's a toggle button there, so you can turn the voice on or off. Okay, so what are the pros and cons of these clocks? First of all, it's just normal quartz accuracy, so that's okay. It's not atomic accuracy, but at this price I wouldn't really expect atomic accuracy anyway. It's supposed to have on the back a magnet, and the magnet is supposed to be in this little round area here. Okay, what I found in practical use is that for some reason this one marked Oregon Scientific, it didn't appear to have a magnet at all on the back. And this one, marked Reizen or Reizen or whatever that's supposed to be, it has a magnet on the back, but it's a very weak magnet. It's not enough to hold it to, say, a refrigerator. It's enough to hold it to another magnet. So if you put a magnet on your refrigerator, you can stick this to that magnet. But if you just stick this right directly on the refrigerator, for some reason, it doesn't seem to have enough strength to hold the weight of this timer on the fridge. So then you just have to, use that little stand and just keep it on the counter. And the other thing that makes this maybe not ideal is that it runs on button cell batteries. So here's a AA battery to give you a sense of the size here. I imagine if they wanted to redesign it to use AA or AAA batteries, it would affect the overall size of the device. So instead, they use these little button cell batteries, okay? And those are fine. That's the LR44 batteries or A76, or you can cross-reference. There are a lot of model numbers for different button cell batteries that appear to all be compatible with this. This happens to be LR44, and there's a little diagram on there telling you the right way to put them in. And then you just position the door and slide it on. A little bit tricky, but you can do it to get it to work right again. And there you go. So those LR44 batteries or similar compatible batteries are not super common, but when it comes to button cell batteries, they're about the most common for button cell batteries. I would have preferred, just AA or AAA batteries. If you're going to have to use LR44 batteries, they're not bad. But I would say it's not ideal to have to use button cell batteries in something like this. Also, it's not ideal that the magnet on the back either doesn't seem to work at all on this one or is too weak on this other one. Other than those complaints, I would say I really like this countdown timer. My wife really likes it because, again, it has those little warnings, the voice announcements as you go before you reach 0. And it's easy to set. All you have to do is, let's see, I can clear that. See, it's clear, start and stop.
1 hour.
Hours.
1 minute.
And seconds.
1 second.
And you just
2, 3, 4 seconds.
Press as many hours, minutes, or seconds as you want.
2, 3, 4, 5 hours.
Start the countdown, and you're on your way. So for that price, it's a cute timer, and cute really helps too. I really like it, and I would recommend it. Shop around. You may, if you can't find this, Amazon, eBay, some of the normal places where you would look for a talking countdown timer. Sometimes places that specialize in devices for people with certain limitations. For example, if you have problems with your eyesight, this would be a good clock and timer for somebody who has that difficulty. Because when you have it in clock mode, if you press the button,
It is 5:13 p.m.
start and stop button, or
It is 5:13 p.m.
actually, I guess when it's in clock mode, you can press any of these buttons.
It is 5:13 p.m.
And that might be very convenient for someone who has difficulty seeing, so they just can have the talking clock
5 hours left.
countdown timer.
It is 5:14 p.m. It is 5:14 p.m.
And as you just saw, even though I switched it over to clock mode, the countdown timer was still running. So that's nice too. All right, so I give it a thumbs up. This is something you may want to look for if you just want to time things. So once again, thanks for joining me here on the first official episode of the Good Timekeeping Show with me, Greg Anderson, and I hope to see you again real soon.